Yo. We back again. You know we never slacking off. Judah Ben. Yo. Ladies and gents, get prepared for another greater event. If you never linked, then make an attempt. On Fridays, there's really no other way to be spent. Tune in, hit the link, and leave likes and comments. Welcome to TD Sports Talk. Here we bring sports and entertainment weekly. They break it down deeply. Come peep me as I spit, leave most confused. Pay attention while I introduce the host and crew. Starting off, we got Tommy the host. He plugged in, his predictions transparent like a ghost. Yo, I think that he been doing this the most. He first joined in March 2013. His resume was first seen. Then we got the co-host, Mr. Socrates. His analogy surgical like a doctor squeeze. The live show was nasty like a dirty beer. Tommy and Sock, they've been friends for over 30 years. Peep me, we got the final host D-Free from out of DC. You need to wake up, you sleepy. If you checking out the live and you feel the vibes, like the video, subscribe, get notified. Take a picture cause this moment should be polarized. Tommy's legacy and resume is notarized. Whether it's Friday or Saturday, he going live. Click the bell and I promise you'll get notified. Yeah. Welcome to TD Sports Talk. Friday and Saturday. Tune in. They're going live late. Word them up. Shout out to Tommy, Socrates, D-Free. Word them up, word them up. Judah Ben. Yo. Tell a friend and tell a friend, son.
You got B3 Picks here at it again. Proud to announce a brand new partnership with BVO Sports TV and B3BoxingPicks.com. Let's go green. At B3BoxingPicks.com, we provide pre-fight boxing picks of the week, but also live boxing betting options so we can make money pre-fight or during the fight betting on the beautiful sport of boxing. Join now, only $10 a week or $25 a month by visiting B3BoxingPicks.com for the membership. Also follow me on all socials at B3 Boxing Picks. Follow my YouTube, Not Another Boxing channel, presented by B3 Picks. And shout out to the People's Network, the one and only Sports Talk Network. Let's go green.
Coming with your camp of the world. Shout out to TD Sports. TD Sports. Let's go, chat.
Nixon said! Nixon
Get these niggas the fuck out of here. Pack them up. Pack them up. Chris Brown, Bobby Brown, Antonio Brown, Kwame Brown, Jalen Brown, Nixon, motherfuckers.
Ha! What's up, y'all? We have Barkley. Turn that damn volume down. You see my man? Then go New York, go New York, go. Did you see Jalen Brunson? Did you see OG Anunoby? Did you see Mikal Bridges with the Steelers head? This is what we're talking about, baby. Under the blue sky. That's what it's all about. The New York Knicks are in the house. The champions are reeling. They got to answer the call for game 2. Then they got to come to the Garden, and we'll be waiting for them. We'll be waiting for them. This is what it's all about right here. First takes in the house. Go New York, go New York, go! Woo!
Fuck
Trae Young.
For Boston.
If I had a sister, I'd let Jalen Brunson and the entire New York Knicks run a fucking train on her. New York is fucking back!
Knicks are here, baby! The Knicks are fucking here, baby!
Fresh out the garden, baby! We're taking it all the way! Knicks all fucking day! Let's go, Knicks! Let's go, Knicks! Let's go, Knicks!
Yo, what's good? What is good? What is good? Hope everybody is doing well on this late Friday night, another edition of Friday Night Sports Talk. And it's a big night here in New York City, here in New York. A lot of things happened tonight. Shout out to the New York Knicks with the big upset, huge upset over the Boston Celtics in 6. They blew the Celtics out. They were up 41 at one point. This was a slacking, a whipping, or whatever you want to call it. Crazy. Shout out to the Knicks. That was first and foremost. I got a couple other things we want to talk about before we get into boxing. But first and foremost, welcome my main man, D Free. What is good, D Free? What's going on, bro?
Ain't nothing. What's good about you?
Chilling, man. Just, it's a big night here in New York. I don't know how you feel. I mean, you're not a Knicks fan. I'm not a Knicks fan, but you know what? I kind of got to ride the wave, man. It's jump on the wagon just a little bit. Just enjoy the ride, but
I mean, yeah, I feel you because it's a big summer for DC. A lot of things going on in DC. So I mean, I understand how you feel because you got the Commander fans feeling the same way. And so it's live out here. Like I see people wearing Washington Commanders mercs already. So I know New York, they haven't had nothing like this since what? The year that they played against Houston in the finals. So I think this has been the first time they've been this close since then.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. It looks like they're going to end up playing the Pacers. I think the Pacers already won their series. I don't follow much basketball like I used to, but, it's still exciting. Last year, the Pacers beat the Knicks. They eliminated the Knicks last year. So, but now it's to go to the finals. So this is going to be interesting. New York is hot, man. New York is definitely hot. Another thing tonight that happened that was big here in New York, we had the Subway Series begin. Yankees versus Mets, Bronx versus Queens. And it was a welcome back. It was a welcome back from the guy that played with the Yankees last year, the big free agent addition, the New York Yankees. It wasn't free agent. They made a trade for him last year, Juan Soto. Juan Soto had a great year, helped them go to the World Series. Yankees fell short. And then this season, he was the hottest free agent out there. Everybody was going to see where he was going to go to. And he ended up with the New York Mets. So this makes the Subway Series that much more interesting. Last year, the Mets swept the Yankees, going into this year with Juan Soto, momentum. And Juan Soto got a welcoming from the Yankee bleacher creatures and the Yankee fans. Check this out. He went for so many cheers from the call from the bleacher creatures last year. Everybody loved Juan Soto, and what a 180, right? He just totally just shitted on him. I mean, that was hilarious. I want to play it one more time because it's hilarious. So with that being said, they asked him after the game. They asked him, was this the loudest you ever been booed? And here's what Juan Soto had to say.
Creo que no. Was that the worst you've ever been booed?
I think so. They were really loud. They were really loud.
And all in all, at the end of the day, the Yankees defeated the Mets 6-2. The guy that kind of replaced Soto, filling in the spot, Grisham, 2 RBIs tonight. He's been having a great year, this guy, Grisham. And then Dominguez had 2 RBIs as well. Rodon had a decent game today. He went 5 innings, gave up 1 earned run, 2 hits. The walks were a little bad. He had 4 walks. That's not good. He was able to pitch out of jams in a couple of innings. And all in all, the Yankees won this game 6-2. Game 1 of the Subway Series in the Bronx. The Yankees take it. So big night in New York. The Knicks win. Yankees, Mets, a big weekend. So I wanted to start off the show with that. But, yeah, man, this was great. Salute to the people in the chat. I see you guys. As you come in, I'll acknowledge you as much as I can. Salute. But, yeah, so that's why I got Alicia, not Alicia, guys. Alicia, she corrected me on that. Baumgartner with the Knicks. She's a Knicks fan. She was, I don't know if she was at the game today, but she did post this right after the game. So I'm assuming she was there. I know Stephon Marbury was there as well. So salute to the New York Knicks. I wanted to start that out on Friday night with the Knicks and the Yankees. And even shout out to the Mets too. Subway Series, a big night of sports here in New York. But all in all, the topic, we're going to talk about the press conference that happened yesterday. We got some big fights coming up. The press conference for what they're calling ring number 3 or ring 3 here in New York again, center stage. Berlanga is going to take on Hamza Sheeraz and Shakur Stevenson taking on William Zepeda. That was a big press conference yesterday to kind of start promoting it. Some decent fights in the card. It's going to happen at Louis Armstrong, Louis Armstrong Stadium. They held the U.S. Open there a few times. It's right next to Arthur Ashe Stadium. So I find it odd that they picked that stadium over Arthur Ashe because it holds like 4,000 or 5,000 less. It holds like 16,000, whereas the Arthur Ashe holds 20,000. And I'm assuming it holds a little bit more because a tennis arena is a little bit bigger than, so you just need the boxing ring. So they'll probably add more seating on the floor. So probably a little bit more than 16,000. But I wonder if it's maybe if they don't think these guys can sell that much, So what do you think, D-Free? Like, why would you think they would pick a lower stadium? Do you think it's because they don't think that they can sell?
I mean, if you look at the last couple of cards that Turkey put on, they haven't sold that much, so they're probably right.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, here, I think Berlanga will bring a good audience, with the Puerto Rican crowd and him being from New York. I think Shakur is right across the bridge. He'll bring people from Newark. I think he'll do well. I think that's why they made Berlanga the main event over Shakur. Yeah. Because maybe he's a little bit more exciting and he's got more of a New York backing. But yeah, it's intriguing. I mean, I'm gonna try to make it depending on the ticket prices. But this is gonna be a good show. I like the card. I like the matchups. And I like Berlanga yesterday. Berlanga's kind of cringe to me. Berlanga, he's a little cringe because after that Canelo fight, he's kind of like celebrating a loss, in my opinion, and a lot of people tend to think so as well. And I think Berlanga just needs to do more. I think he needs to have an impressive fight and probably impressive victory to kind of like gain the fans again and gain that momentum, because it's not been the same for a few years. It's not been this big knockout puncher, even though his last fight, but he fought a guy, that was kind of like the guy was once a good, prospect many, many years ago. But, so I don't really count that fight. He only got 1 round in. So, this is a big fight for Berlanga. So the press conference, he was all talk. He was talking trash, said he might end him in 1 round. He was talking crap to Andy Lee. If you guys haven't seen the press conference, I put the press conference up on my social media. I'm going to show you a video real quick of Mr. Berlanga. He's wild. He's a wild boy. Look what he says here after the press conference. Though it was pretty good. It wasn't really trash talk, but at the end it was kind of funny. He just he kind of said screw everybody. So give me 1 second and I'll play that right now. Once I can find it, because my eyes are really bad here.
Don't get the fans a fucking fight. Everybody loves a fight, right? Entertainment, everybody loves entertainment. We're not going in there being humble. You know what I'm saying? Outside of this, we humble, but when I'm in my zone, I'm in my zone. Humble, out the window. Fuck everybody.
Edgar, question for you.
Dude, he said fuck everybody. That was funny.
Yeah.
I know it's early. We got a couple months, but what do you think about this fight?
I think Berlanga gonna lose. I think he's gonna lose on the scorecards. I'm not impressed by Berlanga. I haven't been impressed by Berlanga for a long time. But yeah, I think he's gonna lose on the scorecards because I'm looking at the play. The winner of this fight is the mandatory to Canelo Alvarez. Bar Canelo Alvarez get past Bud Crawford. Berlanga just fought Canelo Alvarez a couple of fights ago, two fights ago. They're not giving Berlanga that shot again. They trying to get Sheeraz that shot. Berlanga already had that shot. He didn't pass he didn't get a chance to get the win. They're looking to give Sheeraz that shot. Canelo is signed to Turkey. Sheeraz is dealing with Turkey. That's Turkey's guy. They trying to get Sheeraz that fight. So I don't think Berlanga's going to win. I think he's going to lose on scorecards.
I kind of feel that way too if it does make it to the scorecards. These guys were talking pretty greasy at the press conference yesterday, even Sheeraz. But I find it funny that they changed trainers. Sheeraz, he has Andy Lee, and Andy Lee's more of he wants you to box a little bit more, and even Berlanga was stating to that too. And the press conference said, but you got Andy Lee, you switch trainers, and so that means you're going to run the whole fight. So he was calming them. They had like a back and forth. It was pretty funny, So I don't know. Maybe he comes with a different mindset, different game plan, But Sheeraz didn't show me anything in his last fight against Adames. I never really thought of him to be anything good, anything special, like he was being built up to be. I spoke to, before the press conference started, I spoke to a trainer out here in Brooklyn, and his name is Eric Roman. And I said, and he's worked with Berlanga when Berlanga was young, and he knows Berlanga well. And I asked, I said, what do you think of this fight? You think Berlanga wins, and does he win by stoppage? He said, and he, with no hesitation, very confidently says, oh, easy work. This is Eric Roman say easy work. He's going to stop him early. It's going to be bad too. So I was like, wow, really? Eric Roman, he's a trainer here in Brooklyn, New York. He's a good trainer. He trained Khalil Cole was one of his fighters. He's not with Khalil Cole anymore. He's been on Kano Loco show numerous times, an interview. So, but Eric Roman, he has a son that's in the amateurs now. That's really, really good. So he's been around for a long time, and he's worked with Berlanga as well. So, and he's a straight shooter. So he pretty much, and he said, and then I asked him about the Hitchens fight because he's been around Hitchens as well. He said Hitchens is going to win easy too. So real confident. I don't know if it's any bias in there. Maybe it could be, but without hesitation, he didn't say like any hiccups or anything. So that kind of led me to believe like, wow, like pretty impressive. This is Sheeraz is moving up in weight as well. And then again, he did not look good. And the switch of trainers too, his first fight with a new trainer, taking a fight like Berlanga, I don't know.
I mean, that's the only chance Berlanga has to win. I mean, all you got to do is look at the daggone Carlos Adonis fight. There's no way in the world you tell me that was a draw. Carlos Adonis won that fight easy.
Oh, absolutely.
They made it a draw.
Yeah.
So that's the only chance that Berlanga have by winning this fight is by knockout. So yeah, I mean, if he doesn't knock Sheeraz out, Berlanga's not walking out with his hand raised.
Shout out to my man, the Hangout Spot. Yo, salute. Yeah, he knows he's knows Coach ER as well. So I kind of feel that way too. But then again, it is going to be in New York, so do they give the edge to Berlanga if it goes to the cards? I mean, we got to see the fight play out. But yeah, I mean, it's obvious that because in Adames fight, Adames won. By the way, out of everybody here, I was the one that picked Adames to win, and everybody was like, no. But I just want to point that out. So I got robbed of a victory there. So not only Adames got robbed, I got robbed of my pick. What was that?
Wrong.
I'm not always wrong, man.
We always.
Hey, no. You said we were all wrong.
I said we all.
We. Oh, my bad. No, I wasn't wrong. They screwed me. They screwed me of a win. They screwed Adames of a victory, and they screwed me on my pick. So
yeah.
So yeah, another thing that's been going on too, it was very awkward as well because Eddie Hearn was there, and Berlanga's been talking bad about Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn is like, this guy got the nerve, the audacity to talk bad about me, and I gave him the Canelo fight, and Eddie Hearn is hilarious. So shout out to my guy. He was at the press conference as well yesterday with me. My man P4P Glory. You can catch him on Instagram. Look at it; it's on the screen right now. That's his Instagram. He's at almost all the fights. He does a lot of video, a lot of pictures and editing. His editing is on point. So I asked for permission, gave permission to play one of these videos where Eddie Hearn is talking. So I'm gonna play that right now. This was great and well done. But shout out to my man P4P Glory, and check this out as well. I thought this was hilarious.
To get these big fights, to get the Canelo rematch, to get that Munguia fight, I have to knock this dude out. I have to embarrass him. I have to do him dirty. You know what I'm saying? That's what's on my mind right now. I shot my gun at Eddie. Fuck Eddie, and fuck Sheeraz, and fuck Andy too.
I mean, I think he's a little bit rude sometimes. I think he should have a picture of me in his lounge. And every time he walks past his lounge in his new house with all his ice, everywhere, he should pick up, the chains that he wears. That's probably, I don't know, what, 50 grand, 100 grand, 100. Every time he picks it up, he should go, thank you, Eddie, and put it around. You know what I mean? Sometimes a fighter has an opinion of what they're worth, and obviously we have the receipts of the numbers, and it was just a little bit disjointed, but I like Edgar. I think he's a really exciting fighter. I don't have any beef with him, and I wish him the best, but he should have the respect to say, fuck me, Eddie Hearn really done a great job for me.
All facts. What do you think about that, D-Free?
I think something is in the goddamn water in New York, because all of your fighters lose their damn mind when they get put on a main event. Theo, daggone Berlanga, all them dudes lose their mind when they go to New York. You got Ryan losing his mind. You had Rolly lose his mind when he was fighting Tank. All these guys lose their mind when they go to New York. I think it's something in the water. But Edgar Berlanga, that's further lets me know that Edgar Berlanga better knock him out or he's going to lose. I don't know why Edgar Berlanga has a problem with Eddie Hearn. You're not in position to where you should be able to call your shots. You've never been a champion. You're not a big draw like that. So why do you feel like you're entitled to get certain things? So, I mean, I don't know what's up with Eddie Hearn. I mean, Berlanga. He got Berlanga. I don't know. I don't know. I can't even say, like, I think Fat Joe blew his head up a little bit too much because he hasn't done anything in the sport. He hasn't done nothing to feel like he's entitled to get anything. He's probably. I look at Jaime McGee as a better 168 pounder than I look at Berlanga. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say about Berlanga.
D-Free, I agree with everything you said there, but there will be no New York slander here. Absolutely not after tonight. No New York slander. You said there must be something in the water in New York. Something's going on in New York. Well, there is something.
You're not from New York. You can't survive this shit, nigga. Go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York. Fuck football. Fuck Trae Young. Fuck Boston. If I had a sister, I'd let Jalen Brunson and the entire New York Knicks run a fucking train on her. New York is fucking back. Knicks are here, baby. The Knicks are fucking.
Yo, so no New York slander here.
Hold up. Did he just say he would let them run a train on her?
Yeah, on his sister.
I just caught that. I didn't catch it the first time. I just caught that. Yeah, there's definitely something in the water in New York.
They be wilding, bro. They be wilding. Takes two to tango. I totally respect Eddie's take, but Eddie definitely got his nice Canelo fight cut as well for promoting Edgar in that fight. All facts. That's good. You know what? And some people tend to forget about that side as well. But at the end of the day, I have to side with Eddie a little bit, because what did Berlanga really do to earn those Canelo fights? To be real, you know what I'm saying? So as well as a bunch of other fighters that got the Canelo fight that didn't deserve it, but Berlanga really didn't deserve it. But with kind of ESPN and not ESPN, Top Rank cutting ties with Berlanga, Eddie Hearn kind of promised him that fight. I guess that was part of it. I think that was part of the 3-fight deal, or whatever deal they had, was the promise of the Canelo fight. You know what? You got to credit Eddie for making that fight. So, Berlanga, I have to agree. He has to kind of, watch his mouth when it comes to Eddie Hearn and show a little bit of respect. You don't have to like the guy, but you don't have to like someone to show them respect. And I think you should respect them, for that. But that was crazy. He said, it's the ice every time he puts it around and say, "Thank you, Eddie." I thought that was excellent.
Truthfully told, if it wasn't for Eddie Hearn, Berlanga probably wouldn't be with a promotional company right now. I don't think he'll be with Oscar, and I'm almost certain he wouldn't be with PBC. So he probably wouldn't be with a promotional company, a big promotional company. Probably be with a smaller size promotional company, but not a big one, if it wasn't for Eddie Hearn.
Shout out to
nobody was reaching out. Nobody was reaching out to Berlanga. Eddie Hearn was the only one that reached out to Berlanga.
Only one that reached out to Berlanga was Caleb Plant, and he didn't take the fight with Caleb. Caleb Plant wanted to fight Berlanga.
No, I mean, you know why he ain't take the fight with Caleb.
Well, he wanted the big payday, bro. Shout out to Ramon Sifu. He says, is Canelo better now than when he fought Floyd? I don't think so. I think Canelo's definitely digressed. He's definitely not the same. He did get better after the Floyd fight, for some time, but now I personally think he's on the decline right now.
Nah, he's not better now. I mean, he's about even, because at that time he hasn't fought on that level of fighting a Floyd Mayweather, and he had a lot of fights, but none was that compared to a Floyd Mayweather. I'm not saying he was green or anything like that. He just wasn't prepared for a Floyd Mayweather. Maybe later, a couple of other fights, big time fights, he might have been more prepared. I don't think he would beat Floyd, but I think he would have been more prepared. It would have been a more competitive fight. But he really hasn't done anything to say, okay, he's much better than what he was against Floyd, because nobody he's fought is on the level of a Floyd. So we can't really compare it to see if he was much better than what he was when he fought Floyd. It could have just been the fact that he was fighting Floyd, because he didn't look like that when he fought daggone Miguel Cotto. He didn't look like that when he fought Shane Mosley. It was just when he fought Floyd, he looked like that. And it could be just because Floyd is just that much better.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think he, as far as the question is concerned, I do think he was better for a period of time than when he fought Floyd. Did he get better to the fact that if he was as good as he was, when he peaked a little bit and fought Floyd, back then? Like, let's put it this way: at Canelo's peak against that Floyd, he still doesn't beat Floyd. Let's put it that way. He still won't be
Yeah.
there. But yeah, he definitely got better. I mean, I would have loved to see him throw his hands more. And then later, when he peaked, he was definitely throwing his hands more. Throwing punches to people's arms and stuff. In that Floyd fight, he didn't really let his hands go like I thought he would. And I don't think he sold out as much as he should have. And let's go back to Floyd. That kind of gives credit to Floyd's power a little bit, because people said that he didn't really have power. He didn't knock guys out. Floyd had some power. He had some sting in his punches, because if he didn't, guys would have pressed him more and maybe, been more physical with him. And, Canelo didn't do that in that fight. He didn't throw the hands like he's done, in other fights. So, yeah, Floyd Mayweather was just one of a kind, so. But back to Berlanga, Dracula, the guy that bites. Hopefully there'll be no bites in this fight as well. Berlanga, it's like a love-hate relationship, right? I like to support my New York fighters. I like to support my Puerto Rican fighters. But it's cringe at times. The things that he says. He says things
right.
wild. Like he was wilding out yesterday. It was pretty funny. But let me tell you something. Behind me, right, was Papoose, was Clarissa Shields, right behind us, right? Drew Titan was next to me. And then Berlanga's son was there. Like, bro, like you wilding out. Your son is right there watching you. You over here throwing gunshots and putting gun phrases at this guy's head. Like, he's wild, bro. I just think he's just cringe. Salute Clarence. It's just cringe for me, So, but I do think he stops Sheeraz. I feel confident. But when the fight gets closer, when we get to that, we'll break that fight down more. We'll make our predictions. But as of right now, I'm really leaning towards Berlanga. I really am. The other fight in this card, the other main event, the other two guys that were at the press conference yesterday, you had William Zepeda and Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson didn't really talk much, and Zepeda wasn't talking as much as well. It was pretty respectful, but Shakur said a few things, guys on his level and stuff, but nothing crazy. It was pretty respectful, just like a regular press conference. That's why I said Berlanga kind of saved it with his antics. But this is a good fight. This is a good test for Shakur. I'm not saying this is the best fighter Shakur's ever going to face, but this is a good fighter at the right time. An undefeated fighter who throws a lot of punches. Shakur's going to have to work a little bit. And I think Shakur, hopefully his hands, in the right place, because he's been having problems with those hands, and in the right place. I like Shakur to have a great performance, and I think sometimes to have a great performance, you need a good dance partner, and you need a really good fighter to kind of bring your level up to another notch. And I think that's what we're going to see in this fight. And I think I could see Shakur stopping Zepeda like in the 9th or 10th round in this fight.
Boy.
Oh, shit.
Boy. You sound about as delusional as the daggone COO of Ring Magazine and Eddie Hearn when they were talking about Shakur. I done heard Shakur is as good as Floyd Mayweather, maybe even better.
I never said that.
Shakur. No, I didn't say you said it. I said I'm putting all of y'all together. I heard Shakur was as good as Floyd Mayweather, maybe even better. I heard that Shakur is on the same level as Sugar Ray Leonard and Sweet Pea, and now I just heard that Shakur is going to stop William Zepeda. All of y'all delusional. All of y'all.
Jesus, man.
Shakur has to show me that he's willing to stay in the fire in order to stop somebody like a William Zepeda. I don't think he's willing to stay in the fire. We saw what he did with daggone Nakafila. We saw what he did against Edwin De Los Santos. What fight had you saw Shakur in that said, you know what? I think he's going to stand right there in the fire and be able to land punches and at some point end up stopping William Zepeda? Not a single one. Not a single fight that you saw from Shakur Stevenson that told you that he would do that. Because there's no fight that he actually did that with a guy that throws somewhere between 90 to 100 punches per round. Now, what do I think that William Zepeda is going to stop Shakur? No. I think it's going to be a very tough fight. And if Shakur is who we think he is, I think Shakur will edge it out. But I have to see Shakur stand on what he said he's going to do. He said he was going to beat Williams Zepeda up, and he was going to step on him.
Wow.
I don't think Shakur is going to do neither one of those. I think he's going to do exactly what I think he's going to do, which is jab, move the head out the way, land a couple of counter shots, and that's it. He's going to continue to move. He's going to look similar to Canelo Alvarez versus William Skull. It's going to look similar to that, except for Shakur might land more punches. He might land more punches.
Jesus.
William Skull wasn't trying to really land. He was just trying to stay away. But I think it's going to look similar to that, but he's going to land more punches. Because when Tevin Farmer sat in the pocket with Williams Zepeda, yeah, he made Williams Zepeda miss a few times and was able to counter him, and he even dropped Williams Zepeda in the first fight. But he took a lot of punishment in order to stay in the pocket. I don't think Shakur is going to want to take that type of punishment. Now, Shakur has, mediocre power? Because he got roughly about 50% knockout ratio, a little bit lower than a 50% knockout ratio. So he has mediocre power. Shakur is not, he doesn't have that type of power where you say, you know what, I can't let him hit me. So Williams Zepeda ain't worried about getting hit. He got stopped. He got dropped, and he still went right back at Tevin Farmer. He's not worried about getting hit. He knows he's going to get hit. He's worried about, can you take his power? Can you take his punishment? He know he's going to get hit. So I don't know if Shakur is going to stop him. I think Shakur might edge it out, but I don't know if Shakur is going to. I don't think Shakur is going to stop him by a long shot.
Wow, by a long shot. I'm just got some key words that I'm taking from your argument, and it's a good argument. But I just the two words, the two phrases you said, by a long shot and edge him out. You got this fight being close?
Yes, I got it being very close. So close that they might give it to Williams Zepeda.
Oh my God! Wow.
You got to remember. Williams Zepeda is signed to Oscar De La Hoya. Shakur Stevenson is a free agent. It's not a guarantee that he's going to sign with Turkey or Eddie Hearn. He's a free agent. This is the last fight with Eddie Hearn. We believe he's going to sign with Turkey. We don't know if that's going to be. Now, Turkey did say he's an ambassador of Rehab season, but so is what's my man? Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason not signed that to Turkey. He signed the Top Rank, but he's an ambassador of Rehab season as well. So just because you're an ambassador doesn't mean that you're going to sign with Turkey, or doesn't mean that you have to sign with Turkey. That's just somebody that he said is an ambassador of Rehab season. So I said that right now, as it look right now, I'm not saying that this is going to be the foregone conclusion. As of right now, the person that you're going to make money with in the future is Williams Zepeda. Because we don't know what Shakur is going to do in the future. Now, he could very well sign back with Eddie Hearn or sign with Turkey. He very well could do that. But we're talking about right now as we looking at it. The only person that's signed to a current contract for the future is Williams Zepeda. You know,
I left Ramon's comment on the screen for a reason, because I was going to go there. That was where I'm going. You know, he did look, the Oscar Valdez to me was one of his better performances. Probably one of, maybe if not the best performance, definitely one of his best performances. And I kind of see this fight going similar to that. And I think Shakur is a way better fighter than Tevin Farmer. And I thought Tevin Farmer was robbed 2 times. The second fight I thought was a little bit closer than the first, but I thought Farmer won both fights, and I think Shakur is better than him. I just see Shakur countering this guy all night. Yeah, he throws a lot of punches, but I see him frustrate him just by countering him. I don't think he's going to be on his bike as people may think. He may move laterally from time to time, but I think he's going to be in the pocket and he's going to move, pretty much, with his upper body. I think that's what you're going to see, and he's going to counter shots and frustrate Zepeda. And that's why I said he may stop him. And if he does stop him, I think he hurts him to the body, and I think he stops him with the body. The same way kind of Tevin Farmer did when he dropped him. So that's what I kind of see. I mean, we're going to see how they both look as far as training camps and stuff like that, because we hear it, because Shakur trains, works out with guys that we know. So, we'll get word and see how is he looking and stuff like that. But, as we get closer, we'll make the prediction. But I really do believe right now that Shakur is going to have probably his best performance. And I think sometimes, like I said before, sometimes you need a good dance partner, and you need a dance partner that's just as good, that's going to push you to the next level. And that's where I think Shakur is going to excel. And you're going to see a different Shakur. You're going to see something like when he fought Oscar Valdez. That's what I truly believe and truly think we're going to see.
No. That wasn't a different Shakur. That wasn't a different Shakur that we saw with Oscar Valdez. That was the same Shakur we always seen. It just Oscar Valdez wasn't as good as they hyped him up to be, because I think Oscar Valdez gets stopped by Williams Zepeda. Oscar Valdez just wasn't as good as what they hyped him up to be. We didn't see nothing different from Shakur that we ain't always.
I disagree with you. Go ahead. He beats Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez in his prime, not the Oscar Valdez that beat Navarrete. The Oscar Valdez before that beats Williams. I don't think Williams Zepeda is that good. But go ahead.
Hold up. Did you say Oscar Valdez in his prime?
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say. I just don't think Williams Zepeda is that good. I really don't. Yeah, he throws a lot of punches. But
I mean, that's your opinion. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, the only time you've seen anything different from Shakur is when he fought Nakafila and Edwin De Los Santos. That's the only time you've seen anything different. Any other time, Shakur did what he always do, stood right in front of his opponent and judged the distance. The only time he didn't do that when the guy had power. When the guy had power, Shakur didn't stand in front of him. He used his lateral movement. So if you say he's gonna stand in the pocket like he did Oscar Valdez, that's what he always do. That's not nothing different. It ain't nothing different at all.
Okay, so if he stands in the pocket, right, and he doesn't run, you're saying that Williams Zepeda will make it a close fight.
Yes. No, yeah. See, this is what y'all got. This is what y'all got to understand. If Shakur Stevenson gets on the back foot and start making lateral movements similar to what Devin Haney did and William Skull did, Shakur loses that fight. He has to stand in the pocket. He has to. Because they already came out there with the no-run rule. We're going to push this no-run rule. No, he's going to lose that fight. They're going to give it to the guy that was pressing forward. They gave it to Devin Haney because Jose Ramirez didn't do anything. Even though he was pressing forward, he didn't land a single punch. He didn't do anything. I mean, he did land some punches, but it was non and void. It was nothing. But that's the only reason why Devin won that fight. If Devin would have been in there with somebody that was actually landing relatively good shots, Devin probably would have lost that fight too. But like I said, he's not going to win by running. He has to stand in the pocket. That's the only way he's going to have a chance of winning the fight. He has to stand in the pocket. If he fight like he fought Edwin De Los Santos, he's going to lose to Williams Zepeda. He's going to lose.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna wait and see. I might put some money up on this one. This one sounds interesting. I'm sticking right now. For now, I got Shakur winning this fight by a stoppage in 9 or 10 rounds. That's all I'm gonna say. So, salute to Shower. Shower was good. Hope all is well. Salute. Huh?
No, I was saying that's the reason why you in 8th place right now. That's the reason.
I'm not in 8th place. I'm in 6th. God damn it. Wait, what place am I in? Because I didn't get the updated standings. I think I'm in like 5th or 6th. What is this? Let me see. Is this it? No, that's not it. Time out. I'm sick of you. Yeah, I don't even know what the standings are. No, that's not it. Hold on. Now you got me tight. I'm in like 5th or 6th place, and I'm not far off. Yo, this is in the words of my man Dub Rightside, you out of order. Damn, I don't have it. I don't have the latest standing. Man, you're wow. Let me see if it shows here. Wait a minute. Yo, you ain't shit. Hold up, because last week I got all my fights right, and then the Navarrete fight's going to be a no contest. We're going to talk about that one in a second. Let me see if they show the standings. But I got all 5 right. I just didn't get the right calls. But I got Lubin. No, I picked Lubin, but I picked them by decision. Right? I picked Kakasi by decision. They both won by knockout. But I got wins there, but I didn't get the right decision. I picked Navarrete by decision, but I get the win, but when they rule in no contest, they'll scratch that. I picked Muratalla by unanimous decision. I got that right. And I picked Martinez by unanimous decision. So I got that right as well. So I went 5-0, potentially 4-0. So I know I'm like in 5th or 6th place. Unbelievable, man. You're going to clown me. Anyway, let me go back to these because you're out of line right now.
If you would have listened to me, you would have got the bonus points for the knockout because I told you Erson Lubin was going to knock him out.
Oh my God! Salute to ATL, Unanimous Boxing and Sports. Salute to you, bro. Salute to HLD as well. Clarence, salute to you. You guys are out of line, man. I just can't. I just can't. Anyway, another fight on this card. You know, I got a little bias towards my Puerto Ricans. So Shakur being half Puerto Rican, I got a little bias as well. So that's 2 Puerto Ricans we went by. Let's go to number 3. We got PR versus DR, right? Even though Matias is half. But we got Subriel Matias against Puello. I forgot his first name. Puello. They're fighting for Alberto Puello. And that fight is on the card. That's an intriguing fight. Interesting fight. Which belt does Puello have? Puello has is it the WBO?
The WB, yeah, the WBO. WBO. Okay. No, the WBO. Yeah, he got the WBO because they're going. Richardson got the WB. No, he has the WBC. Richardson got the WBC.
No. Puello got the WBC. I just got it. I got it. Puello has a WBC. So that means Hitchens has the WBO. Yeah, because right. Teal's the WBO. Teal's WBO. Hitchens IBF, I believe. Yeah, Hitchens is IBF. We got Teal is WBO. Yeah, so WBC. So this for the WBC. Alberto Puello taking on Subriel Matias. This is a very interesting fight. PR versus DR. Who you like in this one and why? This is going to be tough. It's tough to call right now. I got to see how they look at the weigh-in and stuff like that, how they look at the press conference and all. But of course, I'm going to lean towards the Puerto Rican. Who you got?
I got Martinez. I got Matias. I got Matias because Alberto robbed Antoine, and he looked like trash against Sergio. He should have. Sergio. He should have lost that. So I got Matias stopping him.
Yeah, but remember, these are different type of fighters. Matias is a different type of fighter than Sandor Martin.
Yeah, I got Matias stopping him in the 7th.
You know what? I think because Matias is kind of similar to Gary Antoine because they both pressure fighters. Gary Antoine probably is more athletic, has a little more skill and better defense. Matias' defense is pretty much his offense because he gets hit a lot. But he does throw a lot of punches and he's very aggressive. So I don't know how Puello could withstand that. So right now, and part of this, of course, is bias. I got Matias in a stoppage too. I think Matias breaks him down in like the 8th round. So yeah, that's a good fight. That definitely is a good fight. It's a title fight. So that's the second title fight. Berlanga and Sheeraz is, I don't know what they're fighting for. If they're gonna put, I don't know.
They
what
fight for mandatory at the. They fight. It's eliminated for the WBC mandatory.
Okay, which is, Canelo has all the belts until he fights Crawford. So, yeah. So, and then what else? Who's the other fight in this card? There's another good fight in this card. There's David Morrell.
David Morrell.
David Morrell against Iman Katiev. Right? Iman
David
Katiev.
Morrell's gonna stop this dude. He gonna get his get back. Well, not get back, but he's gonna revenge a loss that he got on his resume by David Benavidez by taking it out on this dude and stopping this dude badly.
Well, I'm looking at this guy. I don't know much about this guy. If memory serves me correct, I believe Shawa. Yeah, see, and she just wrote it. I was going to say it. I believe Shawa likes this guy. I'm looking at his box rec. Supposedly, he's got a fight in June. It says to be announced in Montreal, and then David Morrell in July. That's pretty weird. But it says to be announced, so I don't know how accurate that is. But supposedly, he has a fight in Montreal.
It probably was. Yeah, it probably was a fight that he was supposed to have, but they took him off that card and put him in a Morrell fight. That's probably why I say to be announced, because they couldn't find an opponent for him. So They took him off that card and put him in July.
No, that makes sense. I just know why BoxRec still has both fights up, which is weird. But yeah, I don't know much about this guy. Shawa likes this guy. Shawa thinks he's going to beat Morrell, and I don't know because, Morrell coming off that big, a big loss against Benavidez in a fight that I picked him to win. And, Morrell gave it all he got. Morrell was no chump in that fight, and I wonder if he's more brave in this fight as well. And he fights one of these, Russians that got popping. He runs into something. So maybe that's why.
I got to see his face because I probably seen him fight before. I just don't know what he looked like.
Any other Russian you ever seen in your life? What's wrong with you?
No, I'm saying their names be similar. Their names be similar. Like I could tell the difference between the face. It's the names. I'm like, man, all these joints, the Aklabov and all these. I'm like, I don't know. I might have seen them fight before. It's just the name looks similar.
Oh, you said Morrell wins. I'm sorry, Shao. I thought you said you liked it. You definitely said you like him, but I thought you said you had him winning it too. My apologies. My bad.
She said Morrell. She said she got Morrell beating him, but he's a tough, rugged dude.
Yeah. That's my fault. I'm sorry. Well, at least I say it while you're here, so that you could correct me. Imagine if I said that and then you heard like what? So so you can't be that upset with me. But yeah, I gotta be honest. I can't call this fight because I don't know anything about this guy. I like David Morrell. I think David Morrell is really, really good. Like I said, I picked him in the Benavidez fight. He lost the fight. I'm not going to say that he won the fight. He lost. And, I think I'm hoping he rebounds and, picks it back up because I do believe in his talent. I think he's a very good fighter. So, so we'll see. So that's four good competitive fights, what it looks like, on paper. I'm hoping they add more, being that they got an arena, not there's going to be outside in the street like in Times Square. So hopefully they add more competitive fights to it as well. And, being that people are going to actually buy tickets to this fight. So it's a good card. I'm pumped. I'm going to do my best to make it and be there because, it's funny. What's interesting about this fight and this card is that Fight Week is going to be crazy here in New York because they got the big women's card the night before. So you got weigh-ins and press conferences and grand arrivals and workouts all throughout the week for both events. So that's pretty interesting, if you ask me. I mean, here in New York. So I wonder how they said they're gonna have they said there's gonna be one more rematch on there. They said they were gonna put the daggone firefighter versus the police officer again because that police officer said that he didn't like how he got his ass whooped. That's crazy. That's crazy. But I think that fireman was not a professional. I think he had way more fights. Like he was way more experienced than him. So
And the police officer was in his 40s.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, you know, they take us, a lot of these guys, they take up fighting late, you know, so that's weird. But I'm trying to get Sock to come on and he's not answering. So we're gonna take a brief time out to shout out Sock. We're gonna shout out Sock and because his Boston Celtics just lost to the New York Knicks in 6. And fuck it.
Knicks in 6! Yeah! Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go! You not from New York, you can't survive this shit, nigga! Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, Buffalo Bros! Fuck Trae Young! Fuck Boston! If I had a sister, I'd let Jalen Brunson and the entire New York Knicks run a fucking train on her. New York is fucking back! Knicks are here, baby! The Knicks are fucking here, baby! Fresh out the Jordan, baby! We're taking it all the way! Knicks all fucking day! Let's go, Knicks! Let's go, Knicks! Let's go, Knicks!
Yo,
This nigga said, if I had a sister, I would let Brunson and the entire New York run a train on her. Yeah, dope.
oh my God, yo, that is
about
crazy.
the most fanboyish you can get. This man, he named Brunson, but then he said the rest of the New York team. He didn't care if you was a janitor, assistant. He didn't care what you were. He just said, I know Brunson's going to get it. Brunson's going to be first. And then the rest of y'all can go after Brunson. He going to be first.
Let me
y'all can go.
Let me tell you, I didn't tell you this, but I'm going to tell you guys in the chat. You guys are going to laugh at this one. And so check this out. You know, in the group chat that we're in with me and, you know, my close friend, Sock is in there and a few others. You know, Brett, my boy Flex, the wrestler, Reno, and a few other guys. There's about 5 Knick fans in the chat. There's about 18 of us in the chat, you know, in the group chat. There's about 5 or 6 Knick fans. Sock, the only Boston fan. Sock likes all the Boston teams, right? Sock feeling confident. I don't know if you guys remember 2 weeks ago when Sock was on the live. He had the logo. It said Knicks. He said Celtics in 4, right? So anyway, when the Knicks were down, when the Knicks were up, went up 2-0, Sock was like, you know what? He was confident enough. He said, you know what? How about he told one of the Knicks fans in the chat. He said, how about this? If the Celtics come back and win in 6, because I feel like we're gonna win in 6, you got to do 10 push-ups on video. And on each rep, you got to say, I am a fag. Right? So then the guy counted. The guy counted. I don't want to say names unless he comes up here. The guy counted and says, all right, yeah. So then I got to bet. So why don't you do it if the Knicks win? If the Knicks win, so whoever wins the series, the Knicks win 2 games, right? And Sock said confidently, say, yeah. He said, all right, bet. I'll be glad. I'll do it with a thong.
He's doing with a what?
He said, I'm so confident. I know that the Celtics will come back. He said, I'll do it with a thong. He said,
whoa, hold up. So,
I swear to God.
2 questions. Yeah. I got 2 questions. Because I got some questions, though. I got some questions. I got 2 questions. First of all, he must have been very confident.
He was very confident.
Second of all, who got the thong? Did he go buy it at the store or he already had it in the closet?
Because I don't know if he cashed in on the bet yet. I don't know when he's supposed to cash in on the bet because the series is over tonight. So he has to do it. So every push-up that he does, he has to say, I am a fag.
But hold on. Third question. Who the hell gonna be watching Sock in a damn thong?
He's gonna have to. He's probably gonna get his wife. His wife is gonna have to record him. Oh man!
I mean, who's gonna look at the video to verify that he was in the thong?
Them stupid ass Knicks fans. You didn't see how crazy they were in that video. That these Knicks fans in the chat, my friends, they're the same. I swear. I'll send it to you, Shower. I swear. I don't know if he did it yet because he's not responding to my text. Let me go to the group chat because
he probably out shopping for a damn thong.
Oh man, nah, he's not responded because they're roasting him. But yeah, he said he responded in an email earlier in the day, said he would be on, but yeah. Ishay just hit me up. I gotta hit Ishay back. But yeah, so anyway, let me move along. I wanted Sock to take. But speaking of Sock, shout out to Ismael Villarreal. He's been up here a few times. He's got a fight tomorrow in the Dominican Republic. He's now with manager Ricardo Figueroa, we had on here as well. Ricardo's managing him now, got him a fight in DR. He's fighting, I'm gonna tell you right now, Ismael Villarreal, 14-3. He had the knockout loss to Brian, what was his name? Brian Cannon or something like that. He got stopped to the body, then he rebounded, had a fight in Colombia, and now he's having a second fight. He's fighting this guy Julio de Jesus Rodriguez, 27-8. And snap. Hold the phone. Sock can tell us more because guess what? What's good, Sock? How's everything?
Things have been better, but
why you seem down and out, bro? What's going on?
Hey, Sock, what's going on?
Everything's okay. I couldn't get my my computer to start well, so things are pretty bad. I couldn't find also my password to my Netflix account. So just a lot of stuff, Everything else is okay.
Sorry to hear that. I know we were kind of holding it down for you, and we were giving you shout outs early on. We know you were down and out. So we were,
about what? About what? What would have me down and out?
Nixon shit!
Would that be it? Or maybe was it this?
All those people that you see there are too poor to get into the game, and they're watching it outside of the arena. I mean, they really, those are like the ones that they're still under their parents' health insurance, and their mothers are lying on their Section 8. All those, what time is it? It's 12:08. I can curse. All those motherfuckers right there are going home to an apartment.
Holy shit! Oh my god!
Yeah.
What about
all those children raised on Similac, and they're too poor. They raised in apartments.
Yeah, wait. But Sock, what about this guy?
What's up, y'all? We have Barkley, turn that damn volume down. You see my man? Then go New York, go. Did you see Jalen Brunson? Did you see OG Anunoby? Did you see Mikal Bridges with the Steelers head? This is what we're talking about, baby. Orange and blue skies. That's what it's all about. The New York Knicks are in the house. The champions.
That's the only motherfucker on TV that has a bigger forehead than me. But he also has a bigger bank account than me. So salute to Stephen A. Smith, one of the great workers of all time. A nigga with a fucking high school diploma, who went to UNC Wilmington and rode the bench and is a czar of basketball. who could not start on my daughter's CYO basketball team, but knows all about basketball. But salute to Stephen A, the czar of basketball, and salute to the New York Knicks for playing a better series than the Celtics. Now, it's been 1973, right? That's the last time the Knicks have won a championship. If you don't win a championship, does it matter if you made it to the second round? I'm sorry, if you passed the second round. I wonder if they're going to hang that banner. So all you broke ass Knicks fans, fuck you. Straight up. Go Pacers. And since this is YouTube, this will be on forever. Fuck you. Fight me. Fight me when you see me. Pull up. Pull up like you broke ass New York niggas say.
Oh my God, man. Son, you wildin' tonight. What you drinking tonight?
Keeping it simple. I gotta wake up early in the morning. I'm not giving no free promotions. DC, what up?
Damn, man. Sock, at least the Celtics won last year. I mean, your team won last year. You know what I'm saying? So
it's easy to get greedy.
Shout out to my guy Drew Titan LLC. What's good, bro? He says it's the Knicks. I know how this ends. LOL. So he's with you, Sock. He's with you. He's not a Celtics fan, but he's with you. He knows how it ends with the Knicks.
To quote my guy, can't wait.
So you got the Pacers, right? And if the Pacers win, you trolling Knicks fans?
No, because I expect them to lose. Why am I going to troll somebody that I expect to lose?
Wow.
Yeah.
Sock, can you help me and D Free and some of the people watching know about the bet that you made with a Knicks fan? Are you going to cash in on that bet?
I'm going to do like Ronald Pasquale of Code Avenue.
Why are you shouting out names? So just so you guys know, that means that because Ron, I said his name too. He welched on the bet. He's going to welch on the bet. He's not going to go through with the bet. You were talking mad shit though. You was talking a hell of shit about the Celtics.
Listen,
I was about to ask you something.
The bet is push-ups. I'm supposed to do push-ups and yell at Tom. I'm gonna get you canceled if I say the word.
Fuck it.
Hey, but I heard.
Go ahead, tell the bet. Tell the bet. If the Celtics lose, which they did, what do you have to do?
I gotta do 10 push-ups, and each rep I'm supposed to say a 3-letter word.
What, just a 3-letter word? Say, I am a 3-letter word.
I am a faggot.
Now, hold up, Sock. I have a question. I heard there was an extra stipulation that you were so confident that you put on that daggone bet.
Yeah. I'm gonna borrow a thong that left under that belongs to some chick.
Yo, Pedro, this is my man Pedro. We know from here, from the Bronx. Yo,
Pedro's a fraud.
Your man's is wilding, bro.
Pedro's a fraud.
No, this is what
Pedro's a fraud.
In St. Raymond's High School, that's what they did, bro. Yo, your man is wilding. He said he was going to wear a thong and do 10 push-ups, saying "I'm a flag" on each rep if the Knicks beat the Celtics.
The Pedro's a fraud. The Pedro that I knew liked the Warriors.
Yeah, Pedro, you did jump on the wagon, Pedro.
He's a fraud. And he jumped on the wagon with 3 fucking busted wheels. How you be a Knicks fan? Like, seriously.
Yo, this is fucking epic. Oh man.
Oh man.
Sock, we're gonna give you a break, man. He said, Sock, hey you.
I was cool. I was like, okay, he got to do the 10 push-ups. I'm gonna defer, and then Tom was like, no, he was so confident. He put an extra stipulation on it.
And they were down 2-0, and he made the bet. He was so confident he made the bet down 2-0.
Wow.
Damn, man.
Man.
You should wear your Celtics hat for this live, man.
Hey, Alicia Bungana got some free thongs over there. She was at the game. You go grab one. How
do you like Alicia? You like Alicia?
She's a hey, I fuck with Alicia. She's loose.
Oh shit! Wow.
I mean, if I wasn't a married guy, you know, I'd holler at her.
Oh my God, man!
Oh my God!
He said that
how many fighters have taken it down?
Stephen A. Smith. That's crazy.
I mean, I'm gonna say still, the dude that said if I had a sister, I would let Brunson and the entire New York Knicks run a train on her.
Yo, that's crazy. Hey, Sock, I gotta play it for you. Yo, Pedro, check it out.
Who cares about this shit, nigga? New York, go New York, go New York, go New York. Fuck Trae Young. Fuck Boston. If I had a sister, I'd let Jalen Brunson and the entire New York Knicks run a fucking train on her. New York is fucking back. Knicks are here, baby. The Knicks are.
Oh my God.
He said, yo, that's wild, man. He said
there's only one type of fan base, broke ass niggas that can't get into the fucking game, that watch your shit on a fucking screen outside the building. Bum ass niggas. Yeah.
Hey, can y'all answer a question for me? Did Trae Young get traded to the Boston Celtics?
No. That was an old clip.
Oh, I was about to say
that's a clip from like a couple of years ago.
That's when Atlanta bumped him.
Yeah, because I think that was because Atlanta did bump him like 2 years ago.
They did bump. Yeah. Hey, salute, man. Hey.
But Sock, man, how you doing otherwise, man? I know it's a bad night for you.
I'm great. I'm great.
It was a good night in New York. The Yankees beat the Mets. We were talking about the Yankees and the Mets, the Soto, how they treated Soto. I thought that was pretty good. We played that clip. I'll play it again. I thought that was pretty funny. Yankee fans being Yankee fans, and then I just thought his response was great.
You got 3 games left. I mean, 2 games left, right?
In the stadium, and then they'll do it. I don't know when they do it in Citi Field. Hold up.
You have to remember, that's another set of broke ass niggas that they buy bleacher seats. Those are the cheapest seats they are, right?
No, actually they went up. They're not as cheap as they used to be because of the features. That's why. Yeah, no, it's actually it's actually pricey. But let me just play Soto's response and we'll continue.
Okay, no.
Was that the worst you've ever been booed?
I think so. They were really loud. They were really loud.
The Yankees won that game 6-2. That's only game 1, but they stopped the streak. The Mets had swept the Yankees last year. What was it? 6 games they played? Last year, I think they only played 4 games. It was weird. They did a 2-2.
The best Juan Soto, he fucked up. If I was Juan Soto, I would have responded in Spanish and said, "I don't know what the fuck they said."
Yeah.
Oh man, Pedro's wild today. Pedro, you a wild boy, bro. Pedro, you wild. Yo, Pedro, let us know when you come into the Bronx, man. You got to let us know so we could chill, man. But anyway, let's move on. Sock, before you came on, I was just talking about Ish. Ish got a fight tomorrow. Maybe you know a little bit more info. I know the fight is in DR. He's fighting a guy. He's got like 35 fights. He's like 28-7. It's supposed to be kind of like from what my understanding is, it's kind of like a tune-up fight for Ish, a key busy fight. and hopefully move him up in the rankings. What do you know about this fight?
Basically what you said. I mean, it's a fight to get him back on a winning streak. He signed with a new promotion, new manager. Um, his career, if you look at it, I mean, he's been around for a while, but he made the mistake at one point signing with a fledgling promotion, Main Event, and he was put in tougher than a lot of other prospects would have been put in, just because it was kind of like a dying company. And, they're trying to build him back up. I mean, boxing, things move quick. You're only 1 to 2 fights from being back as a contender. I mean, one of the fighters that he lost to, Holmes, he had a big fight,
Yeah,
an eliminator, and he lost to
Lubin.
with to Lubin. And 1 to 2 fights, that's Ishmael right there. So, it's a matter of timing. Hopefully Ishmael does what he's expected to do. Maybe probably get another similar fight to that, and then, you know, he could be in a top 10 fight again pretty soon. So 2025, 2026 will be very big. It's going to be a big stretch for Ish in his career.
Okay. Yeah, and then you know a little bit more than this than me and a lot. In that fight against Holmes, it was a close decision, but I believe he fought with an injury. He didn't really tell anybody about. So he wasn't really 100% in that Holmes fight.
No, he wasn't. But the type of person that he is, he's not going to. It's not going to be an excuse. Also, the fact that the fight was on Showtime. Um, he didn't want to be pulled off the card. In retrospect, maybe he should have been, and you can serve that zero, which it was at the time, that loss record. But he went through with it. It was not his best performance. I don't want to take away credit to Holmes. He fought a smart fight. He used his height. He held when he needed to. He outworked Ish when in certain spots. But still, it was a split decision, and a learning experience for Ishmael.
Yeah.
It's he lost. It happens. But he still has the hunger to keep moving forward, and tomorrow he'll be he's just back on the horse and does what he has to do, and hopefully by 2026 he's back in the mix.
Yeah. Yep. Now he's moved up at, from then he was 154. Now he's at 160. I saw the weigh-in today. I saw pictures of the weigh-in. He looked in phenomenal shape. I mean, he always looks in phenomenal shape. So, we wish him the best. Maybe we'll probably get him on if he, after he wins tomorrow. You maybe have him on maybe early next week, Monday, Tuesday, or something like that. And, we talk to him a little bit, and promote him. Maybe we bring Ricardo on as well, so.
Yeah, it's funny how life works. He joins Ricardo Figueroa, who's a friend of mine and a friend of the program. And the same thing, Ishmael. Now they join forces. I think he's under good guidance. Ricardo has a good stable, and I think it's going to be it's going to be a good marriage, a good boxing marriage, and Ishmael will get another chance at a big time fight. It's just a matter of time.
One of the questions I want to ask is if he's going to be willing to go down to PR and kind of work with them in that gym, because they got some good fighters there. He could get some good work, and I feel they all seem, from what I know of and what I've been seeing and what Ricardo's been telling me, is that they all work together. They help each other out. The coaches, they all they work together. They really are a team. So. That's one of the things I want to ask him, see if that's something he's willing to do. I know he has a job over here as well, so he's kind of, doing both. The only guy that has a freaking 10-round fight with a big-time contender, and then he goes to work the next morning. That's crazy. After that Kalen Walsh fight, he went to work 3 hours later? I mean, you dropped me off close to 2 o'clock, and then, he had to be home later than me, to get up to go to work. So, I mean, I thought that was crazy. I thought that was phenomenal by him. It shows, the type of fighter he is, type of person he is.
That's the side of the sport that a lot of fans don't know. There's a lot of guys that have regular jobs, and Ish happens to be one of them. Yeah, I mean, that was a grueling fight. It was not an easy night. I'm sure when when he punched in, he was feeling the effects of going 10 rounds against a really good fighter. But that's the heart that he has. That's the condition he has. Um, that's life in New York,
Yeah.
especially when you don't have when you're not um, linked to a big time promoter like Top Rank or a big time manager that's going to basically sponsor you and give you a free ride. You gotta you gotta find a way to put dollars in your pocket.
Yeah.
Um, he's a good kid, good work ethic, no bad habits outside the ring. And I don't think hard work does not come in vain. I think I firmly believe that in all aspects of life. And I think that Ish will get his just due at some point.
Yes, indeed. And credit to you, Sock. And you are his strength and conditioning coach, so you keep him, on a straight and narrow as well, as far as his health and his condition.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the easiest people to work with. He's like, I've known him for a long time, and he's just the type of guy that he knows what needs to be done, and he works hard. He is what every coach would like to have. Someone who listens, someone who's who has self discipline, and like I said earlier, hard work does not come in vain.
Okay. All right. Well, not much happening this past weekend. I mean, we had some good fights, but I guess the big big fight news of the weekend was the Navarrete versus Suarez fight. Questionable call in the fight. Not a decision, not the questionable decision. I thought the decision was right. I just thought that the ruling was incorrect. I'm going to replay it right now for you, and then we can talk about it. Yeah, that was pretty bad. In a state where they have instant replay, where they can go back and check whether there was a headbutt or a punch, and they ruled it a headbutt, Sock and D Free, and they ruled it they stopped the fight because the cut was severe, and they gave the decision to Navarrete. So I have two questions. What do you think of the instant replay ruling? And the second question is, which I don't think a lot of people are asking, if they ruled it my second question is, if they ruled it a punch, if the ref ruled it a punch, do you think they would have stopped the fight anyway? Right? So they did stop the fight. Do you think they would have stopped it if they ruled it a punch, or they would have let Navarrete fight with that cut to give him a chance? Because then he loses by knockout.
You know what? That's a question wow, that's a loaded question. Do I think Navarrete could have continued? Yes. I think it's in his makeup. I don't think Navarrete is the type of guy that's gonna bitch up, for lack of a better word. When things go wrong. I mean, that's just, he hasn't shown that in the past, so I can't say he's gonna do that now. It was a bad call. I think that it was the type of thing that a punch caused a cut. I do think there was some sort of contact with the heads, and it exacerbated the blood, but definitely was a punch. I think the Filipino fighter got the short end of the stick, and hopefully the right thing happens if there's a rematch.
D Free?
I think they knew that Navarrete will win the fight. I don't think they if it wasn't a clash of heads, I don't think that they would have continued the fight. I think they saw how bad the cut was, that they wasn't going to continue the fight. So they said, you know what, we're going to say it was a clash of heads. Because the referee looked at the cut. He looked at it. And then he said, clash your head.
Yeah. First off, I feel bad for the Filipino. And I feel, guys, for any fighter, especially when they're the B side, and especially when, they're not really backed by a big promotion. Let's put it that way. I feel bad for any fighters coming in, fighting, the house guy, for a title, their first title shot. And they go in. Now, mind you, he was losing the fight, but he had some moments in the fight, and he hurt Navarrete a couple of times, I believe, so he had his moments. And then you go in and you take a fight away from a guy, and I just didn't think it's right. It's not as similar. It's similar to what happened with Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, but it's kind of like not the same because, this was a cut. And and I'm saying it's similar because the replay got the decision wrong, so it just hurts because now you would hope they do the right thing and give it a rematch, but it kind of stinks like the rematch is that it's not Suarez going in as a champion. He's still going in as a challenger, So they may score the no contest, or they may keep the decision the way it is and still have the rematch. It's just not the same thing going into that fight like that, So I think it's wrong. And I truly, truly believe if the ref said it was a punch that caused the cut, I totally think that the doctor doesn't stop the fight because the doctor's working for the house too. The doctor's working for Top Rank as well. Like they getting paid under the same, you know what I'm saying? They're not stopping that fight and they're giving Navarrete a chance. Now, whether or not what happens after that, we don't know because the cut was bothering him a little bit, and Suarez did wobble him after the cut. So so that's what I think. I think they messed up, and I think they if you're gonna have instant replay, and this goes for in all sports, right? You have instant replay for a reason, and that's to get the right decision, to get the right call. And then this is the second time we've seen in a big fight. And maybe not a big fight, but a big fight for Suarez, right? And they got the call wrong. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, look, Navarrete, it's funny because, he's had a really good career up until this point. And outside of the Valdez fights, he hasn't had a big fight, And I don't know what, I thought him and Shakur would eventually fight each other, but that didn't happen. I don't think it'll ever happen. So, I guess Top Rank will have a rematch with this guy. But what are you doing, Navarrete? Because he's only getting older, right? I think he has slowed down a little bit, but it's something that just happened. It was kind of freakish. I think he was ahead at the time of the cut.
The decision was valid. He was definitely ahead,
right.
And he made the right decision. It's just the guy, Suarez scored a cut with a punch.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
they technically that's a knockout if they scored it right. So
yeah,
we don't know.
It was a bad call. It was a bad call. If you want to be cynical and say, "Oh, coincidentally, the judgment call went to the house guy," right? You kind of expect it, right? I think there'll probably be a rematch. It has to be because what else would you do with him? Now,
I'm going to point this comment out because I was going to say similar to this. That was supposed to be Navarrete's last fight at 30. Wasn't it? Question mark. Well, I was going to mention that. He struggled to make the weight. He was a little bit over, and not much over. It was like 0.4 of a pound, I think it was. So do they order the rematch? But maybe he can't fight at that weight anymore. Now he has to move up. So then Suarez, if they do order Suarez, as the number one contender to that title, he's still not the champion. He's still got to go in and fight somebody kind of as a challenger and earn the belt. I think he gets robbed. He didn't get robbed of the decision, but he gets robbed of a potential victory because of a bad call by a referee, and instant replay didn't do it any justice.
You think Navarrete gonna go up to 140 because he had problem making the weight at 135?
Did he struggle against? I mean, he didn't look good at 135 because he lost. You know,
No,
against Blanchett.
he he missed weight and he had to go back and come back to make weight.
Oh, for 135. See, I don't remember that. Okay, so that I mean, you know, or maybe he's just not taking care of himself. I mean, he doesn't have the best looking body in the world, you know. So maybe he's just not, you know, taking care of himself in between fights.
That's a possibility.
I'm drinking.
I think that, yeah, I mean, look, I think the best bet if I'm Team Navarrete, I think is to come back and do an immediate rematch. How many months is it going to take for that cut to heal? That was a bad cut.
Yeah.
That's going to, I mean, we're in June. I mean, practically, right? I don't think that cut will be ready until at least, I wouldn't put my guy in before December. You know, that's a very bad cut, especially a guy with like Navarrete. I don't know if he's ever been cut before, but he's got a lot of miles, you know, on those tires. You know, so I would tread cautiously. I would look at November, the earliest, and you know, you have a built-in storyline. Now the biggest problem is where are they gonna show this, right? Because the contract with Top Rank and ESPN is over.
Yeah.
You know, now they have had instant. I do not think that ESPN is out of is out of boxing. I don't. ESPN is a big network. They need content, you know, and Top Rank and ESPN have been in bed for a long, long time. I think since the beginning of ESPN. You know, so I think that at some point,
you're the first person I've heard say that you think that ESPN will stick with them.
I don't necessarily, not that they will stick with them right away. I think there will be boxing on ESPN, but we have seen Top Rank and ESPN kind of have a break apart. I mean, ESPN and boxing go together since the beginning of ESPN. I mean, Al Bernstein, you know, cut his yellow teeth in sports broadcasting on ESPN. You know, I mean, this is the truth, right? They've been in boxing since the beginning of ESPN. You know that. Look, there's only so many hours that you could watch Stephen A. Smith cooling around. I mean, they need content. They need content, right? They need content. You know, and boxing will be back on ESPN, and we don't even know how. I mean, TKO and ESPN. You figure that's like the easiest match because you know UFC is on ESPN. So ESPN will have boxing at some point. I think that they will revisit the negotiation table, and you'll see boxing. When? I don't know.
Yeah, Sock is something else, man. Oh wow, who's this? He said, no boxing, kid.
Who?
He's a Spaniard, Hamed Halet, with the Barcelona flag. I don't know who that is. I don't know.
Don't know
apparently he must be maybe 20 years older than you because he called you a kid. I don't know. But what's we call it? I was going to tell you. Yeah, I don't know. I with Navarrete, I really wanted to see him. I thought the most intriguing fight at 130 and the easiest fight to make would have been him and Oshaki Foster. I thought that would have been the easiest fight to make. They're both under the same banner. You know, their styles, I think, would mesh pretty good to have a entertaining fight. You know, because Oshaki Foster is not a runner. He can box, but he mixes it up too. I think that would have been a real good fight. You know, I thought that would have been a good fight to make if he was to get by Suarez. You know, I'm not sure why they didn't make that fight earlier, but that's the only intriguing fight I could see Navarrete, or maybe a big fight for Navarrete at that weight. But other than that, 135, going up to 135, who does he beat? Who can he fight?
Tom and D Free. Did you guys notice little back and forth between Oshaki and Shakur on social media?
Yeah, I saw that.
Woo!
And then I saw Raymond Ford jumped into it too.
I mean, so is Oshaki saying that that Shakur is full of spit with an H, that he does smoke weed? Was that what? I mean, was that what this was about?
I honestly, I don't know because Oshaki was going at it. He was trying. They were supposed to get a fight with him and Stephen Fulton. That was the rumor that the next fight that was supposed to happen for Stephen Fulton. So I'm not sure what he's implying. It kind of seems that way. But
But there was a lot of but there was some innuendo.
Boxing. I'll drop the link for you. You know, so.
I thought that was funny. There was a lot of innuendo.
I think Shakur might got some weed from him and he ain't paid for it. And Oshaki.
Typical Newark, dude.
I mean, in reality, I think Oshaki's been calling for Shakur for a while. When Shakur was at 130, Oshaki was calling for Shakur. And then
Oshaki was his number one contender.
Yeah, he was the man. He was his number one to his title. Yeah, no, when once he became champion, Oshaki, but he was calling for the fight before he became champion.
Yeah, he was calling for the fight, but he became the number one contender when he beat Oscar Valdez. When he beat Oscar Valdez, he was the number one contender to the WBC, and Shakur ended up fighting Robert Kasakian and then moving out of the division. But
yeah, because he couldn't make the weight. He came in overweight.
He could have fought Oshaki right there.
Yeah, he could have, but he moved up. He couldn't make the weight against Conceição, and then he had to pay Conceição extra money just for him to take the fight. And then he ended up moving up to 135. But yeah, Oshaki's been calling for the fight for a long time. You know, so maybe that has something to do with it. But at any time, Oshaki could have been called to be as mandatory because he's the 130 WBC champ. So he could have called for that smoke anytime he wants. He could request to be the mandatory as his right. So not sure why he hasn't done it, or maybe he can wait till after this fight. But Oshaki hasn't fought in a while too. He's got to take a fight soon. He hasn't fought since the rematch, the Conceição rematch. So that's a long time. That's about 7 months. Working on 6 or 7 months.
That was after the Abraham fight.
Wait, which one?
When he fought
after the Abraham fight, he fought Conceição in July. He fought July, and Conceição beat him on the BS. He was robbed, and then they rematched like 3 months later. I think they rematched in September. They fought in upstate New York.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Shock is a good TV fighter. I mean, I think that he would have to move up, right? If him and Shakur have a disagreement. I think the winner of him and Zepeda, he'd have to go up to 35. So it's official? Is Shakur going to be on that undercard with Berlanga?
Yeah, that was at the press conference yesterday. Okay. They had both. It's supposed to be a co-main event thing again. It's Berlanga and Sheeraz, and then Shakur and Zepeda. Really, Berlanga is the featured guy. He's the last fight, but Shakur, they're featuring that fight as the main event as well. So, and then
ain't no damn main event.
No, but wait. Wasn't there something didn't Eddie Hearn threaten to because Lou DiBella got asked out, right? I saw it because Eddie Hearn said that he had one more fight with Shakur, and he was going to sue somebody if he was not going to have Shakur on this fight.
I don't know what happened because it was said that DiBella was going to promote him just for this fight, but yesterday at the press conference, Eddie Hearn is next to Shakur. And Eddie Hearn, even after the press conference, is next to Shakur, talking so great about Shakur, how great of a fighter he is, and everything. So I'm not sure what the relationship is or what the agreement is, but maybe it's a fight deal. DiBella was not there yesterday, so maybe they worked it out. But Shakur's getting paid. Supposedly, Shakur's going to get like $5 million for this fight.
Eddie Hearn threatened legal action. Right, he threatened some Jewish judo. I sue. You know, and yeah, so it's gonna be. You know, I think it's also the last fight. That's a great fight. I really think. You know, I think that type of fight would bring out the best of Shakur.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Shakur is top 2 or 3 boringest fighters in the world. So it's going to be really hard to have a boring fight against a guy like Zepeda, who's going to bring it. So I think Shakur is going to have to fight down and really, you know, sack up. You know, I think that's a really entertaining fight. You know, so it's going to be hard for people to be walking out of Arthur Ashe Stadium on that fight.
They're not even doing it in Arthur Ashe, Sock. They doing it in Louis Armstrong, the tennis court next to Arthur Ashe, which is a little bit smaller.
Really?
Yes, it's Louis Armstrong. They only holds like 16K. The Arthur Ashe holds like 20K, I believe. And you know, Arthur Ashe, you know, they did wrestling there and everything. So you would
yes,
you know,
AEW. Yes, they've done a couple of shows.
Yeah, but what I was asking D-Free earlier, do you think they picked a smaller arena because they don't think these guys could sell? Because I don't understand that move. They wanted to do an outside arena or outside stadium, outdoor stadium. Sorry.
That's interesting because, I mean, it's all about promotion, right?
Yeah.
And there's hell of Arabs in Queens.
Jesus Christ.
Listen, there's hell of Arabs. So Sheeraz is supposed to sell some tickets. I mean, if they can take a few hours off of work, there's a lot of Arabs in Queens, especially, listen, that arena is in the most diverse area of New York City. I worked in Corona, Queens. You have all races there. You have Latinos, you have Arab descent, Turks, you even have white people. It is a great venue. Yes, it's a great area. So, you know, wow. So Edgar Berlanga can't, you know, he has fought at the theater in the Garden, right, Tom?
Yeah, he has definitely been at theater in the Garden. Yes.
And the theater holds about a little over 5,000.
Yeah, about 5,500.
Okay, so you figure Edgar Berlanga being, you know, at least how he likes to refer to himself as a star in New York, he'll bring at least 4,000 at worst, right?
Okay.
Okay, so how many of Shakur's peeps will travel into Queens?
I think he brings some people. I think Berlanga brings more. So if you're saying 4,000, I don't think Shakur will bring, you know, close to 4,000.
So
you know, there'll be some Shakur fans in there.
And then you have the curiosity factor. I mean, listen, promoters need to promote. I mean, it's dope. It's a nice venue. It's a nice area. You know, it's something that's never been done before.
The undercard is pretty solid right now. So they got Morel on the card against this Russian. I can't pronounce his name. We said it earlier. And you got Puello, Tu Gente, against Matias. So, you know, the Puerto Rican.
That's a very good fight. Wow.
Turnout, you know?
That's a good fight.
Yeah, and it's a good fight. It's a title fight. So, you know, Iman Katev, that's who David Morrell's gonna fight. So, you know, you might get some Cubans in there too, you know?
Another Arab.
No, he's Russian.
Okay.
Let me play this clip for you, Saka. I got this from my boy, one of the media guys. Berlanga was out of pocket yesterday. And, you know, Berlanga's been shitting on Eddie Hearn. So I'm just going to put this guy's his thing up. This guy, my guy, P4P Glory, go follow him on Instagram. He does great content. If you're watching, please, P4P Glory, do a search. He does great content. He let me use this video.
Get these big fights, to get the Canelo rematch, to get that Munguia fight, I have to knock this dude out. I have to embarrass him. I have to do him dirty. You know what I'm saying? That's what's on my mind right now. I shot my gun at Eddie. You know, fuck Eddie, and fuck Sheeraz, and fuck Andy too.
I mean, I think he's a little bit rude sometimes. I think he should have a picture of me in his lounge. And every time he walks past his lounge in his new house with all his ice, you know, everywhere, he should pick up, you know, the chains that he wears. That's probably, I don't know, what, 50 grand, 100 grand, 100. Every time he picks it up, he should go, "Thank you, Eddie," and put it around. You know what I mean? Sometimes a fighter has an opinion of what they're worth, and obviously we have the receipts of the numbers, and it was just a little bit disjointed, you know. But I like Edgar. I think he's a really exciting fighter. I don't have any beef with him, and I wish him the best. But he should have the respect to say, "Fuck me, Eddie Hearn really done a great job for me."
What do you think about that? I mean,
I think Eddie's spot on. I mean,
Yep.
Edgar Berlanga. I mean, look, you know what? I like his trainers. They're my brothers. You know, market rate for rate. But Edgar Berlanga is a C minus level fighter. You know, who has got a lot of fame for going 12 rounds with Canelo. He over achieved. You know, because a lot of people thought he was going to get knocked out, and then he has parlayed that into some sort of victory. You know. So Eddie Hearn did a great job with him. You know, in the limited time he was with him. You know, nowhere near Top Rank, right? Top Rank had him on ESPN, featured him, and main evented him, and he was knocking out, you know, all these bums on ESPN, and they built up the monster. Edgar Berlanga is a C-level fighter, and Sheeraz is going to beat the brakes off of him.
wow.
Edgar Berlanga is not that good. Truth be told, Ishmael would knock Edgar Berlanga the fuck out if they fought. I stand on that. Okay? Face first.
Wow.
He's not that, fuck him. I stand on that. I stand on that. Ish won't say it, I say it. I got an amateur that'll beat that'll beat his ass. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna go there. You know? I think Edgar is, you know what? He is a good self promoter. You know, he is channeling a vibe that he has. You know, he wants to portray this New York, you know, flashy, whatever. You know, he's got a good looking girl. He's hanging out with Fat Joe, you know, a lying, convicted rat, Fat Joe. You know, he's doing all that, right? You know, he's a Brooklyn dude, cornball, you know, at heart. So it's.
By the way,
he
was born in the Bronx.
He's a bum.
He lived in the Bronx like his early life. But go ahead.
Yeah.
He lived in the Webster Project.
You know, Sheeraz has that Olympic pedigree. He got a gift against Adamas, against Adamas. I'm sorry. You know, I think Sheeraz is going to have more weight under him, and I think he's going to beat his ass. I really do. I think he's just a finer fighter.
So do you think? So he changed his trainer, Sheeraz. He now has Andy Lee. So you think that helps him even more? Because Andy Lee's he's more, you know, he wants them to box more. So, you know, what do you think about that? Do you think do you think that's a good addition? Do you think that helps him moving up in weight? His first fight at 168, coming off a fight should have lost.
I think going up in weight is going to help him. I don't think he's going to starve himself as much. Andy Lee Andy Lee's starting to build a good resume. You know, he's got some good fighters. I mean, he's done good things with Joseph Parker. You know, Andy Lee comes from that Emmanuel Stewart school. You know, the greatest trainer of all time, in my opinion. You know, at least of modern day. So I think Sheeraz is going to be a little too much for Berlanga to handle. I think the height, I think the hand speed is going to be a problem for Berlanga, who's got very slow feet. I can see Berlanga likes to load up a lot, you know, and I think it's going to be a problem. I think Sheeraz is going to handle him pretty easily.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is not a biased pick because you hate New Yorkers, right?
No.
I'm just messing with you.
All the fighters I work with are from New York. How can I hate New Yorkers?
That's true. That is true. I'm just, you know, it's not a good night for you, Sock. So I thought maybe
it's a great night. It's a great night for me, sir.
It's a great. Okay, hey, it's your world. So that's why we need you on the show more. Your absence was missed last week. We need you. We need your opinions so people can be like, wow. I mean, I'm mad BVO's not here today. Let me play this one clip real quick, and we'll go to D3.
Don't get a fans a fucking fight. Everybody loves a fight, right? Entertainment. Everybody loves entertainment. We're not going in there being humble. You know what I'm saying? Outside of this, we humble, but when I'm in my zone, I'm in my zone. Humble out the window. Fuck everybody.
Edgar, question for you.
That was yesterday. That was me taking the recording. He's wild boy. Mark Ferret was there. I was trying to get to Mark Ferret, but he was trying to get out of there too. So
Mark was there?
Yeah, that was Mark right next to him. You didn't see him? On the left side.
Don't get a fans a fucking fight. Everybody loves a fight, right? Entertainment.
But what's funny? Real talk was funny. You talk about, I mean, I know that they cringe, but hey, fuck it. I mean, the bag is there. I mean, they get paid regardless. But Edgar's a cornball. He really is. He's a fucking cornball. He really, you cannot. Oh my God. He's a cornball.
Wow.
D3, you got anything to add?
I want to see his trunks with a Cracker Jack logo on it.
What? Say that again?
I mean,
he should have a Cracker Jack sponsor on his trunks.
Wow.
Well, D3 agrees with you. D3 is picking Sheeraz as well, I believe.
Sheeraz gonna beat his ass.
Yeah, I got some eyes on it. Like I said, Edgar Berlanga, he really hasn't done anything. What fight you say is a signature win for Edgar Berlanga? I don't say he has one.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think he has one either.
Yeah, so I mean, he hasn't done anything. For everybody, I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, Berlanga this, Berlanga that," but nobody can name anything that Berlanga has done that you say, you know what, I gotta watch out for Berlanga.
If he fought Eubanks tomorrow, who are you picking?
Berlanga against Eubanks?
I got Eubanks. Yeah, I got Eubanks.
I mean, look, Edgar has been managed.
I probably got Eubanks too.
Edgar seems like an ingrate because he's been managed extremely well. Extremely well. Promoted, managed very well. He fought absolutely nobody, and he got to the golden goose of boxing.
Well, let me ask you something, Sock, because
yes, sir.
These guys personally. And I'm not talking about you know them because you've seen them. You know them personally. You got their phone numbers. You talk to them. You know Mark and you know Ray Ferret. You know his trainers.
I worked with them.
Do you think in these last 4 fights, so he's had 3, 4 fights under them at back because they were with him before he went to Andre Rozier. But do you think with him being back, has he improved in any way? Do you think?
Well, the fact that he went 12 rounds with Canelo, you could point that he improved. I mean, excuse me. You can say either he improved or was that the first tell sign that Canelo has diminished, right? So we don't know. We don't know. I think that the one thing they've got, I think Edgar loads up a lot on every shot, and I think that's the one thing that they've kind of gotten him away from. I mean, you can't judge him from his last fight because he fought a crackhead, So, this is is this the third fight with Mark? He fought the Irish Cat.
He fought. I think this might be the 5th fight because I think he had 2 fights before the Canelo fight. The Canelo was 3rd. Then
the Irish
that guy that he knocked out in the first round. So this would be the 5th fight with Mark and Ray.
Okay, he fought the Irish guy at the Garden.
Yes.
Right, which was a good fight.
Back-to-back Irish guys. There were 2 different Irish guys he fought. He fought Quickly was one.
At the Garden
in Florida. And then he fought Quickly, I believe that was in the Garden.
Okay, so he fought I think the first fight with Mark was the one at the Garden, right?
Yes, I believe that
Okay.
was. I can look it up. I'm almost.
Okay. Right,
Yeah.
and then he fought the guy in Ireland, then
Yes.
Canelo, and Abdul.
Yes,
You
that's
know,
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is the fifth fight.
you know, I mean, the one thing I know that they look, he's got natural power, but he loads up a lot. You know, he's someone that debuted at 160. Really don't believe that 68 is his best weight. You know, you look at his. I mean, he's working with Memo Heredia, who has had a legendary career. You know, but I don't know if necessarily his power is going to be great at 68. Shiraz is significantly bigger than him. When they stand next to each other, Shiraz looks like eventually he's going to end up as a light heavyweight. You know, so look, anything can happen. All it takes is one shot. I'm not saying Shiraz is the next coming of, you know, of I don't know what the fuck of Roy Jones, you know, but I think Shiraz has has a little bit more fine tuning. Um, he didn't look great his last fight against Adamas. I think if Carlos would have been the house fighter, I think he gets the decision. Let's keep it a buck,
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
You mean Turkey? You know that might be Turkey's kid. You know, with all the
Jesus.
money fucking with all the money fucking Turkey has. If he's not a fag, I mean, he you know he'll have a lot of kids, right? And maybe Shiraz is maybe Shiraz is his, you know,
Oh my God. Man.
because the way he was the way he was rooting for the nigga and he was telling him the scorecards. I mean, let's face it. I mean, you know, the same thing may happen in Queens. Yeah, we in New York, but you know, Turkey's the one that's putting up the bread. You know, so Edgar may have to knock him out and make sure that the ref knows how to count to 10. We don't know. This is boxing.
Yeah.
You know, so it is what it is. But as far as from what I've seen, I saw Shiraz beat the crap out of Austin Williams, right? Or Ammo Williams.
Yeah.
He's he's got a lot of skill. You know, he's got the Olympic pedigree. I think Edgar has slow feet, and I think Shiraz will stop him late.
Mm.
You know, from what I see.
That would be pretty embarrassing if Berlanga was to actually get stopped in front of his home crowd. That would be crazy.
I mean, he got dropped by an Argentinian guy, like in the 7th round, right?
Yeah, but that was not in New York. That was in Vegas, I believe.
Yes, no, that was in New York.
You sure? Wasn't
I'm
that the
pretty
undercard
sure.
of Fury and No, that was the undercard of Fury and Wilder. Fury
That
Wilder.
was
No,
Steve. Was it
no,
Steve Rowe? Was it Steve Rowe?
no, no,
No,
no. He got dropped by an Argentinian guy, a bum.
yeah, he did get dropped, but I think that was in Vegas. That wasn't in New York.
You have to look that up. I think that was in New York. I don't think that was a main event. I can't remember what was the because I don't think he ever main evented for ESPN, but it was like a co-feature. You know, I mean, look, Edgar has power. You know, anything can happen. This is boxing, but you know, you have to be able to land that, and I think Shiraz will be able to use
Yeah,
straight punches.
that was Marcelo. Yeah, the Argentina. That was in the Wilder. Yeah, I remember Wilder Fury. Yeah, I thought Berlanga lost that fight, and they gave it to him. He got dropped. Yeah, he got dropped in
That
round
that
9.
was okay.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was it. Yeah, I remember it was Wilder Fury
Mhm.
undercard. I almost.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know anything about boxing according to this cornball Hamed, Halet, so maybe he's related to Sheeraz.
I'm hungry.
Sheeraz,
I'm
what is
I'm I'm hungry. You make me chopped cheese, Hamed?
it? Maybe chicken over rice or
Wow.
something.
Some halal shit.
Maybe he knows the dude from West Fourth. Maybe he knows the Messiah.
The Messiah?
The Messiah.
Scalabrini put it on him.
We get clown. I gave him the link. He could have came up and talked whatever he wanted to talk, but he's a clown. He's just in here trolling.
But why is he beefing? I mean, I think Shiraz.
He says that we don't know anything about boxing. I told him to come up and tell us everything he knows. He don't know anything, So he gave him the opportunity. He didn't want to come up. He wanted to be disrespectful, so he got timed out.
Tell me about the Marquis de Queensberry, sir.
He doesn't. He's
Tell
timed
me.
out. He ain't gonna. He can't type in the chat anymore. Yeah.
He wants to talk about John L. Sullivan.
John L. Sullivan.
Let's talk about Gene Tunney. Let's go. I'm with it.
Yeah, as a clown. Not much going on this weekend. Tomorrow there's a few fights. 360 Promotions has a card. Barachek is taking on his first name McCall Fox. Why can't I say it's Michael?
Oh wow,
Michael Fox. Yeah, so Michael Fox fighting at 154. He's usually a welterweight. I think it's his first fight at 154. It's a tough fight for him, fighting a guy that's kind of.
You know what's funny? It's funny about Michael Fox. Michael Fox was like Fondura before Fondura. He was like the oversized welterweight, right? Because how big is Michael Fox?
I don't think he's that tall.
Yeah, he's tall. He's over 6 feet. Yeah.
I'll check it.
Yeah. So he's kind of long in the tooth. So he's trying to Barrett. That's an interesting fight. That's a crossroad. He is Michael Fox. How old is Fox? He's about 32.
He's 29, and I know he's a southpaw. I just don't know his height. I don't know how tall he is. It doesn't. But I know he's 29. He's a southpaw, and he's got a few losses. He got robbed against the guy from Venezuela, I believe, Maestre, in the controversial decision where they try to cheat him, and they caught the gloves. And then he dropped Maestre in that fight, and they still gave it to Maestre, a unanimous decision. And then one of the judges, Gloria Martinez, scored the fight 117 to 110. That's basically giving Maestre 9 rounds.
D3, isn't he from Washington?
Yeah, he's from the area. He sparred Tank when they were young. He sparred Tank Davis when they were teenagers, I think. Yeah, I think he is from the DC area, because that I know for sure. I don't know where in the DC area, but he's definitely from the DC area.
And speaking of Tank and Roach, the rematch was announced, right?
Yeah, August 16th.
Yeah, August 16th.
Yeah, in Vegas.
I'm happy the rematch happened. I'm disappointed with the venue. I think that fight should have been kept on the East Coast. It would have been great if it would have happened in Washington or in Baltimore, but I don't know if you guys saw Teofimo's IG post. He was saying that him and Jared Ennis is a done deal.
I know they said Turkey was talking to was trying to negotiate that fight.
Yeah, I haven't.
He was talking to Bob Erm about making that fight.
Yeah, he did say so. He did say it was close. I've heard reports that it's close, not official. Shower says 6'3", so he's over 6.
All right. Bro. I haven't seen Michael Fox for a minute. Michael Fox fought my boy Chop Chop.
Did he fight Chop Chop? Yeah.
Yeah.
Chop Chop fought everybody though.
Yeah, he did. That's a good fight. He's only 29. I thought he was a little older. I thought he's 32. That's tomorrow on what? On UFC Fight Pass?
Yeah, on the Tom Loeffler 360. Yeah, so it's a decent card. My guy that I like, Omar Trinidad's on the card. He's fighting a guy obviously I don't know, because they match him up with guys that from the area, or they take him from South America somewhere. So I don't know anything about his opponent, but I rock with Omar Trinidad.
That's in California?
Fight on the card too. That's pretty good.
That's somewhere in California?
Yeah, the Commerce Casino. That's where they usually do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's close to LA.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because Omar is an LA kid, so he's
Is there's a British fight coming up, Bruno?
I don't know. I want to say that Josh Taylor is supposed to be fighting soon. I don't know if that's what you're referring to. I'm not sure he's fighting, but I could have sworn I saw a card that Josh Taylor is supposed to be on soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he fought Chaps. Yeah. And 11 p.m. Yeah, that's yeah. They usually started late because it's in the West Coast. But yeah, I don't know, Sock. It's nothing. It's kind of like a dead weekend this weekend of boxing.
Yeah.
But I feel like Josh Taylor is supposed to fight soon.
Real dead this week.
What's up?
Now I say it's real dead this weekend.
Yeah, so Josh Taylor fights next weekend.
And Dubois
he's fighting in the UK against the guy Iko Esserman. 10 rounds.
Okay, and Dubois and Usyk is when?
I think that's next month. I think that's
June.
That's
in July.
No, is it July?
June or July. I think it's either June or July. I know it starts with a J. I know it starts with a J, but I think it's June or July. I think
I'll take it right now.
July, but it could be June. I want to say
July 19th.
It's
the week after. Yeah, July 19th, Wembley Stadium.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. My fault. You're right. Yeah, so it's the week after Shakur, and that's going to be a busy week. You got the women's fight that Friday, right? And then you got the Berlanga and Shakur event the next day, and then the following week you got that. I'm going to go to the schedule now and see what's for next week.
Now the question: does Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano do a better gate than the men?
That's a good question.
What fight? Hold on. What fight is Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano?
That's Friday. That's the day before. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's a big week for New York. Remember, I was saying earlier, you got two fights back-to-back days. You got the women's fight card on Friday. That's going to be in the Garden, right? And
when is
big house? It's not the theater. And then the next day is Berlanga.
When is Jake Paul and Chavez Jr.?
That's in a few weeks, if I'm not mistaken. That's it. I don't think it's.
Well, I can tell you right now. Maybe that's the reason why they picked that stadium, because they know most people are going to go to the Amanda Serrano fight. It ain't going to be that many people that's going to be paying to see both fights.
I wonder what the ticket prices are going to be. If they're smart, they don't head crack people, because this is. I mean, look, it's a novelty. I mean, it's a busy. I'm telling you, if anyone's ever been around there, you cannot walk Corona, Roosevelt Avenue without bumping into somebody. It is so packed with people, and it's a novelty. You want to attract fans to a sport. Come on, man, have a seat that's about $50.
Yeah,
You're
right. I agree with what Shao was saying. I think the women will do a better gate because the tickets are definitely going to be higher. It's a bigger venue. You got Ireland against Puerto Rico, right? And then you got other good women fighters on this card, and the matches are pretty even. They didn't really put they put a lot of world title fights on this card. So I think you're going to have a better fight card, and I think they probably will do a bigger gate. I mean, it's a bigger arena, so that I would say the ladies would be interesting. I mean, because Irish people, they support, and the Puerto Ricans, they support as well. So it's gonna be interesting. But the Berlanga card, I'm very intrigued what the ticket prices are gonna look like. Nothing's gone on sale yet, for what I know of. So pretty intrigued to see how that's gonna be.
I mean, Shakur and Edgar, you figure they're going to be getting over $1 million to fight, right?
Well, the rumor, I saw something about $5 to $6 million for Shakur.
That'd be interesting.
That's and you got to believe, you got to think that Berlanga's getting paid, because Berlanga was crying about.
Okay. I don't have the bylines in front of me, but what's the WBC bylines as far as purses? that'll give you an idea of what the payout is going to be.
This man Turkey has never
I don't
won.
know.
He has never made any money from any card he has ever put on.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's got never-ending money, bro. Like he doesn't care.
I have a question for both of you, my friends. Are you buying into the narrative that the reason that the fights that happen at Times Square and other fights that guys are too comfortable because they're getting overpaid? Like that's what Tim Bradley was saying, and a couple of other people are saying.
It could be. It could be.
Yep.
It very well could be. I mean, I just don't think that Turkey's putting on these great fights as people been saying or the people been asking for. I don't, I thought that the Times Square event was a shit show. It missed the mark. I thought it was a good idea, but they should have opened it up for more fans somehow. I felt like if they spend all that money to get the permits and stuff, they should have, let more people in, and make it,
But is that affecting the fighters' effort?
I think so because listen, I think fighters feed off the crowd.
Okay.
And it's like fighting in the gym. It was like, for them, it had to be like fighting in a gym or like a sparring session almost. Like, there was no crowd to cheer. They had, and the 300 people that were in there, they weren't cheering or into it. Most of them were celebrities, and it's the same thing that goes for the fights that are on Saudi. Like the Canelo fight, those guys were like, it was 7 or 6 in the morning. Those guys that are sitting in the front rows are not watching the fights. Those Saudis are not watching. They're on their cell phones talking to each other. They're not paying attention. They're not cheering. I think fighters feed off the crowd. I think that's very important in boxing. And that was the number one point I brought up last week as for why I don't think Turk is good for boxing. He's taking away the heart and soul of the events, and that's the fans. Fighters feed off of fans. When people want to become fighters when they're young, their dream is obviously to be champion, to make money, and to fight in front of bigger crowds. You go from the gym to like a little venue to like a nice small arena to like a theater size, then an arena, and then like a Wembley. Like this is what fighters want, in my opinion. I think that's what they look for because they feed off of it, whether you're getting booed or cheered. So you didn't hear that in any of the fights in Times Square. So I think they missed the mark. I think them doing it at Louis Armstrong, I think that's a good thing. I would have preferred Arthur Ashe, but you know what? Maybe they did it for a reason, like you guys said. Maybe they, because there's another fight card the day before, or maybe they don't think these guys could really sell like that. They're testing the waters. Who knows? So, but it has an opportunity to do much better because you're going to have more fans, hopefully, right? And the quality of fights on paper, they look good. They're intriguing, so we'll see what happens, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, I think if a fighter is a true professional, I don't think that the money's going to matter as far as like your effort. Like people are trying to say that about Ryan Garcia's effort, and it was just a shitty show in Times Square. And I think I agree with you. It was a fail. The way they set up the seating, they should have done something better. In terms of having the regular people in the crowd or making it more accessible to them. Because it was like invited guests and then people standing like how many, like 2 blocks away and watching it on the big screen. That was trash.
I think another thing that might have played a big part of the reason why those fights were so dry, because every one of those fights outside of the T.O. fight that we complained about, which was the Ryan Garcia, the Devin Haney, and the Canelo Alvarez fight. Every one of those fights had another fight already lined up. And I think a lot of those guys played it safe so they wouldn't mess up the bag.
That's a fair point too.
That's an
smart,
interesting perspective.
I think that's a fair point because it's like the way we opened this up. It's because of the money. They're getting so much money. It's like they're playing it safe to get the other bag, and they're not performing as well as they probably could have, or could have, or whatever the case, or press the issue, or fight with some sort of urgency, and that goes for the guys that were the B sides of these fights. Jose Ramirez fought with no urgency. Barboza fought with no urgency. Ryan Garcia didn't fight with any urgency either. And he was cautious, and that knockdown just threw off his whole game. So but you're talking about the two guys that were the B side. Even those guys, there were no guaranteed paydays for those guys. Barboza got his first chance at the world title. No sense of urgency from those guys. So
it's funny because the two guys to me that make the most sense to fight each other, Teofimo should fight Rolly.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a fucking promotion.
But aren't they like good friends?
They was. They not anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, look, if Teofimo gets a fight, Ennis, more power to him. But to me, in the natural fight, I mean, just building off of that event would have been him and Rolly. But
yeah, mostly.
I'm happy if they make the fight, but I'm mad as well because I'm happy because I know Jerron Ennis is probably going to beat the brakes off of T.O. I'm mad because I really don't want to support T.O., but I want to support Jerron. I'm hoping that it's free and I ain't got to pay anything.
Yeah. Well, you figure Amazon, right? Amazon or
no, but I think that'll be the Ring. The Ring will do it, so that'll be on the Zone, or Zone pay-per-view, because the Ring is going to probably do that fight. Yeah,
it's gonna be Turkey, so it'll probably be the Zone.
Yeah, it'll probably be the Zone.
I'm just hoping that it's not a pay-per-view fight. I'm hoping that it's free. That way, I ain't got to pay for nothing.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, I don't like it because it's giving T.O. a payday, and once again, he's rewarding a fighter for talking crazy. And you're giving him an opportunity to win a title, a unified title, right? Because, and a lineal title, because I believe Boots is the lineal champ as well. You're giving T.O. an opportunity at all of that, plus a nice bag, after him, acting a fool and saying all these racist comments. I think it's wrong. And you did the same thing with freaking, you did it with T.O. already. You already gave him an opportunity. You gave him the card in Times Square, and you did it with Ryan Garcia. So I don't agree with it. I know what people saying that, all right, fine, let's go Boots. But, maybe Boots is thinking the same thing. I'm going to punish this guy for the stuff he said. And he makes a mistake fighting out of character. I don't like it personally. That's just me. I know what you mean, D-Free. I think you agree with me as well. Sock, I'm not too sure. But, when you give a guy an opportunity like that and then they fight off of that, man, look, Hopkins against Tito, Hopkins says some crazy stuff. They almost killed him in Puerto Rico. He threw the flag on the floor, and then 9/11 happened and Tito had to stay out here for like a few weeks with, breathing all that air and stuff like that. Me personally, I don't think Tito was the same Tito that he was before that, in the fight, and guys that say stupid stuff like that, these guys, I know it's boxing and people trash talk, but you're being looked at as kind of like role models, and you're a public figure. You need to watch your mouth. You need to have a PR person to put you in check. That's their job. Let you know you can't say these things. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you feel. You know what I'm saying? And they shouldn't be rewarded with fights like that, or shouldn't get rewarded, period. They should be punished some way. The WBO, these sanctioned bodies, they have an opportunity to strip the guy or maybe not fine him, and there's inconsistencies as well. They fined Adrian Broner for saying the can man, right? And I didn't think there was anything wrong with that. He said American, Mexican, African, like I believe he said all of that, and they find him. So like I don't like it. Yeah, I would be rooting for Boots. I think Tio needs to be put in check for a little bit. He's a good talent inside the ring, but outside the ring, he's a knucklehead, and he doesn't deserve these opportunities. And look, yeah, he looked good that fight against Barboza, but he left stuff, on the table too. Like he could have done more in that fight as well. So he wasn't great. He did a lot of showboat, and he could have done a lot better, but he didn't either. So I'm done with Tio. So
yeah, Tio's a jackass.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I saw that the WEO is gonna look into something in terms of disciplinary actions, but what are they gonna do? They don't have the power to like suspend a fighter.
No, but they can strip him of the title.
Right. Which
is not really big of a punishment if you think about it, because then you have to pay the sanctioning fee though. But
exactly.
But still,
Mm-hmm.
it's a statement at least,
Right. I mean, it would be nice if a sanctioning body stands up for a fighter's character or their conduct outside of the ring, Yeah. But like they need the fighter just as much as the fighter needs the sanctioning body, to hitch their wagon, to that name.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, guys, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I think this was good. We got a couple things. I gotta schedule an interview with Josiah Kirkpatrick. I'm gonna probably set it up for Sunday. EJ Smith just responded an email because I've been trying to do an interview with him for the segment I'm doing. He says Sunday early, so I'm gonna email him back probably tomorrow morning. And so that's what we got going on. Then Monday, Tuesday, hopefully maybe we could get Ishan, Maelo. So we're trying to do a little bit more. Sock, I'm not sure if you're gonna cash in that bet. I'm sorry, your team lost. You can't win every year.
Can't win every year, but I want to. Look, the Celtics did not lose because Tatum got hurt. They lost because they blew 2 20-point games.
Yeah.
I mean that's inexcusable. I mean, normally in pro basketball, the better team wins. It's not like college basketball. Hey, Duke could get beat any day, right? Or North Carolina or Kansas. But the more talented team, in my opinion, did not win. But the team that played the best won. It was the Knicks. I take my hat off to them. It sucks because it's New York, and I live in New York. And hopefully they lose. Hopefully they lose the next round. Or it was better if they lose in the NBA championship.
As long as they don't win the championship, you're happy.
1973. Let's keep it going, baby. I want to see Clyde. Salute to Clyde Frazier. He had a Puma T-shirt on. I want to see Clyde come out, with a cane, in 2028, and the Knicks still have not won a championship. How's that?
Yo, you're wild, bro. All
Yeah.
right, guys. Any closing thoughts before we close the show?
It's funny. Knicks fans are not complaining about Tibbs in the minutes now, right? What a fucking bullshit franchise. I hate them. A fucking shit show.
Well, I'm sure the rest of our friends in the chat are looking forward to you cashing in on that bet. So,
yeah, that's wrong. Unless I borrow one of Teresa's thongs.
Oh, wow. Damn. Well, you know what's crazy? I'm the only one that would pick up on that. Nobody would know what you're talking about, so we'll just leave it at that. That was a low blow. D Free, I'll tell you about that later. D Free, any closing thoughts?
No, I mean, Berlanga, you better count your blessings while you got them, because Sheeraz is going to let everybody know exactly where you belong at the bottom of the barrel.
Ooh.
You know, I forgot one more thing. Let's close it out with this. I wanna shout out and say R.I.P. to the great SABU. SABU, one of the great wrestling figures. I got the chance to watch SABU live a few times. You know, SABU was one of the great ones. So you know, we did a nice little show yesterday with Rich Mancuso. We had Jason Knight. Jason Knight was on the show, and he was talking about SABU.
I don't know if you heard, Jim Ross has colon cancer.
Yes, Jim Ross. Yeah, he's supposed to go for surgery. So best wishes for Jim Ross and R.I.P. SABU. Let me see if I can play a little bit of this clip without getting in trouble.
History in the making here at ECW One Night Stand. The World Championship to be defended.
Man, I didn't want to play too much because I get in trouble. But SABU, man, R.I.P. SABU is one of the great ones. It's very sad. He just wrestled his last match, not because he just passed away. That was his retirement match like a few weeks ago too. So he retired, and unfortunately, you know, he passed away at the age of 60. So rest in peace, SABU. He was one of the great ones, and appreciate everybody that came through today. And you know, and catch us on the replay. We got some things coming up. We got an interview coming up this Sunday, and hopefully Monday or Tuesday as well. So appreciate everybody that came through. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Take care, everybody. Salute D Free. Salute to my man Sock. Take care. And real quick, just for you, Sock, I just had to do it.